The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
What is happening, everybody? It is sorry, I'm everybody's suffering with allergies today. It's a mess. I'm your OC Appalachian American. I'm finally home from the road. It's been a long day of travel, but I'm right here. We're gonna have a good time. Joining me as always, my left-hand man, the author, David Applegate.
G'day, friends and fans. Welcome to another men's room. Happy birthday to us.
Yes. Joining us all the way from the graveyard, Dr. Calvin-Nails.
Good evening. I may be wheezing and sneezing, but I'm ready to be pleasing.
Yeah. Last but not least, the dad of all dads, Channel Dad Brian Late.
Hey, it's May the 4th Eve.
May the 4th Eve. That's true. But May the 4th Eve is our 4-year anniversary of YouTube.
Oh,
Yay.
Of
You would think
this show?
Yeah.
Of this show.
Wow.
We've been this channel started 4 years ago.
Wow.
Today. The 3rd, actually. So yeah,
well,
it is.
I may have to go crack out a beer instead of my water.
Yay.
Right in the middle of that bug.
So we gotta acknowledge the chat because we got a few people. Adam Superfan Adam Shawhan, hail the chat. Dr. Coffin Nails, hey Adam. The men's room, howdy ducks and geese. I guess that was you, Late, because it wasn't me.
Yeah, I forgot that it showed. I'll have to go join as me somewhere so I can post
Carl,
as me and not as you.
Carl, you know and love. Happy birthday, y'all. And Dr. Calvin Nails says, and go. So yeah, we're here. We're live and in charge and ready to rock and roll. Let's see what I got.
Or Seth has multiple personalities, and
We are lords and engorged.
Yeah. Lords and engorged. No, not yet. So I was on this morning. I woke up in a completely different town.
You did? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and we went, dude. There was a 100-mile yard sale. It started in Danville, Virginia, and ended in Lynchburg. Well, actually, it ended past Lynchburg.
Did you get some lemonade?
But it was following up Route 29. So what we did was we last night we drove down to Danville, had some amazing pizza at Delano's Pizza. It was fantastic. The first time I went to visit Justin from the Podcasting Dead, it was Tommy and I. We sat in on their podcast. We talked to them, had a good time. Then we hung out with them, got to see what it was like to do radio, and then it was like lunchtime because we got down there at like 8:00 in the morning because that's when they podcasted. So we got down there, did a podcast, whatever. But this was all in 2020. So it's been a long time, and I've seen Justin every year since because me and him are tight like that. But he said, "Hey man, you've got to go to Delano's and get some pizza." And I said, "Let's go." So we went down there, ate the most amazing pizza, and I was like, I have to go back. So when we got down there last night, they closed at 9. I was walking out of there at 8:45 with a pizza. Totally against my diet, but hey, it was good. So
how do you spell that?
Sometimes you got to break it.
If you'll go to my Facebook page, I shared it last night. Okay. Delano's. Yeah. Right. DELLANNOS. Downtown Pizza and Kitchen. Yeah. Dude, it was so good. But anyway, so we went yard selling this morning, had a great time, spent a little bit too much money, picked up some WWE and WCW figures, and a ring, a Raw, like WWF Raw ring. Or it might be WWE at this point. I don't know. Anyways, it was a good time. I got the Ultimate Warrior, Ric Flair, and Diamond Dallas Page. So that was pretty cool. what have you guys been up to? Besides
Me,
mowing
I've been
lawns
writing.
and nothing.
So exciting. Yesterday I did a video on Disease X, if anybody's heard of that. It's
Oh,
a,
yeah.
Hmm.
I have not
it's
heard
a
of that, but
it's a
Elucidate
psyop.
us.
Yeah.
But because people are picking up very quickly that it's a psyop and nobody's
Hmm.
really talking about it. But I talked about it because it's funny to poke fun at the establishment. Larry Fink came out yesterday and said he's going to replace you all with robots, and everybody laughed. And he said, "I'm serious. I think actually this time, yeah,
Wow.
here's the Fink." I mean, the king's a Fink, right, Brian?
Yeah. Well, and Gates was apparently talking about how we're going to cut off meat and everything else. And what people don't seem to understand is they're not making suggestions. They're telling you what they're going to do.
Don't
They're
cut
not
off
looking
my
for
meat.
permissions.
What are they going to do with all those cows? Is what I want to know.
Oh, they've
That's
been
a lot of
culling
cows.
Don't cut off our meat.
They've been culling them. A lot of herds out in West
Meat's
Texas.
delicious.
Yeah.
And a lot of
Yeah,
chickens.
I'm
too.
gonna clip that. That would be great.
Yeah.
Oh, now what do you dogs want?
No,
Dr.
well, they're not
Garbonell's like,
too much
meat's
in meat.
delicious.
I just
Well,
took all these dogs out.
Got to be
half
careful
an
what you
hour
say in
ago.
there around these parts.
Yeah, you
What do you
better.
want?
But they're not just coming after meat; they're coming after dairy and eggs as well.
Mm.
All right, you guys keep going. I'm gonna see what the heck's going on.
So,
And like Brian said, they're not asking permission. They're not making suggestions. They're telling you the operation that's in progress.
yeah, exactly. Let's see. Let's share out the Rumble stream. There's 6 people watching over on Rumble. What's up? Hashtag live on hashtag Rumble.
Of course,
Come
the feminists
hang out.
always have to make everything about them with the bare
Well,
knees.
yeah, duh. We're also
Your
live
choose
on
there.
X.
Please film it.
Post,
We would like to see
share, post this. Hey, I'm live. Hey, it would help if I could spell today. Hashtag live. Come hang out with us. Share, post it, whatever X is. So there are several different topics we have tonight. There's some things that David sent me. There's some things that I've been seeing online.
Yep.
Myself.
True.
Let's see. Mark Hamill joins Death Star press conference. Let's start with that one because it's light.
Yeah.
And it's Mark Hamill, and he's light. He's a little light in the loafers, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. He's not any Luke Skywalker in real life, that's for sure.
When I say light in the loafers, I really mean
that means you're gay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
FYI.
There's a
and not
thing
like
going around
and not
Hollywood
like the fun gay of like cool gay people that I know. Like I meant like the dumb
like
people.
Milo. He's not fun gay like Milo. He's dull gay like.
Yeah, if you look into his
Like
granddaughter and the situation with that, it's kind of sleazy.
Yeah.
If you know all about that situation.
Hey Mark, do you acknowledge your granddaughter? The one that you said to have aborted? What? Yes? No? Okay. Just checking. Mark Hamill. This is the Babylon Bee, by the way. Mark Hamill joins Death Star press conference to say what a good job he thinks the Empire is doing.
I'm sure he does.
Yes, I didn't realize it was a Babylon Bee article, but that kind of makes it that much funnier because it is the Babylon Bee, and it is Mark Hamill, and he is. Mark Hamill, in a sense, is kind of like a
Nazi fags.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Joe Biden. Appreciate you. Thank you for saying that.
Most coherent. That's the most coherent he's been for a month.
Yeah. Viewers of Imperial News Networks were stunned today as Mark Hamill joined the Death Star press conference to say what a good job he thinks the Empire is doing. The surprise appearance reportedly put together in an effort to shore up Emperor Palpatine's dwindling support throughout the galaxy. Featured Hamill giving the Empire his official seal of approval. Wow.
Golf clap.
You know what? That's just
This is the kind of thing that just tickles my balls.
Yeah, well, Mark will definitely do that for you.
I'm sure he will.
Although, did you get the
his
one about?
dude, his Twitter is nothing but just like a cesspool of
Oh, his
muck
Twitter's the
and guts.
worst. That's just the worst.
I
He's
just
so
realized
stupid.
you've got Milo, you've got fun fags like Milo, and you've got
Oh my gosh, David.
bundle, and then you've got George Sakai. He's heading towards the George Sakai level of idiocracy.
Wow. You said the F word. Less than 15 minutes in on YouTube, you goober.
Oh, I'm looking. I forgot it's 50. I thought it would be. I thought it was 10 minutes.
No.
15. Oh,
It's always been 15.
I'm
Oh
posting.
my God, it's 10. Oh,
I'm posting something in the private chat, Seth. That
Oh, you posted private chat.
I don't know if you've heard about this or seen this about protesters on both sides in Alabama. I don't know if you were going to cover this, agreeing on one thing. And I thought it was kind of hilarious.
Yes, I saw that yesterday. I saw another one too.
Oh, that's joyous.
You know, the Trump impersonator.
What do you guys think of the protests in general? Like, do you think it's legit? Do you think they're being paid? Do you think they're like, what is it? What do you think?
Okay, there's two. I think there's two protests,
Mm-hmm.
and definitely there's one that's non-organic that's sponsored by George Soros on the campuses.
Oh,
and
definitely.
The other one is from CARE, and they don't need, and that's just a phone call away. You know, they call up their friends and say, "Hey, send your kids out to protest," and they do it. You know, there's no money involved on that side of the protest.
It does seem like it's way too sudden and way too organized to be organic.
Yeah,
it's not. No, but I mean, there's the paid protesters, and then there's the Muslims who get told to send their kids to the protests. You know. And of course, they're obedient, because if they're not obedient, they get kicked out of the club.
But I have never seen a wave of anti-Semitism like this. I mean, it's just go to any Babylon Bee post on Instagram, and like half of the comments, it's like they're spamming the chat with all this.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at
ridiculous.
BLM's like Instagram or X, because they're all just like, Palestine, and people in the comment section, real Americans in the comment section, are like, yo, what do they have to do with Black Lives Matter? Like, I'm here to support Black Lives Matter. I ain't here to support like other people that we don't really care.
No, but see, here's the problem. BLM is not Black Lives Matter. BLM is a Marxist organization and hijacked a movement started in New York by a bunch of guys.
Yep.
And they got pushed out very quickly by Little Miss Can't Be Wrong, because she got $10 million from Twitter, and Jack Dorsey justified by saying he was funding free speech. Hey, we're free speech. Fund us. I mean, Seth, you're not too proud to accept $10 million to be free speech.
Oh yeah, dog. I'm about it. I need some money. But so I've been hearing rumblings about changing the definition of anti-Semitic.
Correct.
And this has something to do with all the protests?
Kind of like how they changed the definition of racism. Is that going to be?
But according to, I think I heard this on Alex Jones, that the Zionist Israelis have forced, through lobbying, our Congress to change the definition of anti-Semitic.
Correct. To include Christ is King, blood rights, which I did a video on and got it taken down, so it's real. Blood rights, however, I was trying to explain the origins of blood rights, and that there's different sects, not just throughout the Middle East, but Europe and around the world, who all carry out this thing called blood rights. Some use chickens, etc. You find it in voodoo, and the appeal didn't care. So Fuck Facebook. Fuck, sorry. Oh, we're over 15. Yeah, fuck Facebook. Oh man,
Right here
they
on Al
just
Jazeera.
cannot.
Al Jazeera posted
Yeah,
U.S.
they're full of anti-Semitism.
Is it
Al
15
Jazeera.
minutes you got to get past before you can start
Yeah.
dropping the? Okay.
I'm trying
I think
not
so.
to. I'm trying not
All right.
to.
So let's see. So is Al Jazeera somewhere that's like a decent news source?
No,
What?
they were started by Al Gore and sold to a bunch of Arabs, I think.
Okay, but nonetheless, that's still. I mean, that would still be a left-leaning source of
Still left-leaning,
news,
yes.
right?
Yes.
So they posted that U.S. House passes a controversial bill that expands definition of anti-Semitism.
Yeah, because I think some of them realize that next will be them.
Well, something that's quoted in this article is rights groups warn that the definition could further chill freedom of speech as protest continues on college campuses.
Yeah.
So by changing this definition, doesn't that literally could, it's like a stepping stone to changing the freedom of speech, right?
Yeah, hate speech laws by any other name.
Right. So I'm just not. Let's see here. IHRA's working definition of anti-Semitism is a certain perception of Jews which may be expressed as hatred towards Jews. Rhetorical and physical manifestations of anti-Semitism are directed towards Jewish or non-Jewish individuals and or their property, towards Jewish community, institutions, and religious facilities. Huh.
Yeah, but
that's sounds like a bunch of gobbledygook.
Broad. Yeah,
right.
That could be interpreted so many ways.
That's the point of the American legal system. Not
so if I have a Jewish neighbor and me and him don't get along, am I now an anti-Semite based on this definition?
Depends if you call it. Depends if he could twist it. Then yes, if he could.
I mean, I don't have a Jewish neighbor. I do have a religious weirdo as a neighbor, and we've since then put up a fence. So, and that's saying something because I'm Christian and I like go to church.
That's what fences are for.
This chick and her husband are like pastors. They have their own church, and they're extremely rude. And they bugged me to no end, so we put a fence up, a nice, great big wall, and we made Mexico pay for it. I'm just kidding.
Absolutely.
But seriously, like we did put a fence up, a wonderful fence. And
I put a fence up because people were cutting through my damn yard. I got sick of it.
I don't blame you.
It sounds better in German, but ignorant people will ignorantly defend their ignorance. A wise man will thank you for enlightenment.
Yeah. But anyway, so I'm just curious, based on this new definition, will I have to watch, even though it's a totally justifiable cause of saying, hey, you're a butthole because you're a butthole. Now I'm going to be like, oh, that's a hate crime.
Well, yeah, because actually that calling somebody a butthole is a hate crime already. It's homophobia. Come on, be real.
What?
That's next. Calling somebody a butthole will be next. That would be homophobia. But calling a Jew a butthole, yes, you will get. And they will say, Your Honor, he doesn't like me because I'm a Jew. And he will not have to cite specific examples because he says, historically, this is what they've always done to Jews. And the judge will be too busy slamming his gavel down and saying, guilty, 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 like they did to Trump in New York. Because
all depends on the political leanings of the judge is what it depends on.
Yes. Exactly. How much of the legal system is politically aligned to the left, where they want to bring in speech control laws because it expands the judiciary?
Yeah, I think that's stupid.
Well, I would agree with that.
So stupid.
But
I mean, geez, what do you do? Like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place because it's like, well, I now have to focus on getting things. I now have to focus on how I'm handling certain situations. Completely
Yeah, the
dumb.
problem is you've got two extremists who want to drag you. One side wants to drag you totally into Israel forever. They could do no wrong. And the other camp wants to drag you into Palestine, River to the Sea, worldwide revolution. It's not going to stop. But see, here's the thing. The more I dig into it, right, you start with Palestine and it starts to morph into black. You start to get to the black African Muslims, and they're saying, well, the revolution's not going to stop. We're going to take, we're taking over the world. And now, of course, so you're getting divisions in many places now, and the left are attacking the left. But the two moderate camps, the anti-war camp on the left and the anti-war camp on the right, have agreed FJB.
Right.
And that was amazing. Because the moderates are still the majority in both camps, right?
I think so.
But I think the moderate left is very silent, but they are supporting Robert Kennedy, whereas the moderate right are supporting Trump. Although Kennedy is somewhat leaning towards supporting Israel. But again, he said on, I forget what was it Joe Rogan or one of the others, that he said it's not an absolute, right? Was it? I forget which interview. I've seen a couple of.
I'm not sure about those because I didn't see those.
No, but he's sitting at 16%. Joe's sitting at 28%, and the rest is go Trump.
Yeah.
Yet he will come as mysteriously close, if not winning, in the next election somehow.
Oh yeah, they're going to say it's close, it's tight, etc., and they're going to have all sorts of shenanigans in Philadelphia and Illinois and Detroit, Broward County, Austin, most of California and Portland. Pallets of ballots.
Now
there is a California movement to fight ballot harvesting by ballot harvesting.
Mm-hmm.
The best way to fight ballot harvesting is for the Republicans to start adopting ballot harvesting and early voting tactics. That way they can't steal your vote. Because as you know, voter groups have the right to go out and buy the unvoted, voter registration, and they track them, track votes. And at the end of the day, if you make them waste all that money by having your own ballot dumps, and because that way they can't steal your vote, right? You have a registered voting group through your church or community organization that collects the votes, makes sure they're all properly done, all properly sealed, all sealed up, and delivered under legal ballot harvesting laws to the which office they're going to ever deliver to for your state. And they can't tamper because you have multiple witnesses. And you have people, and you have voting protection groups watching these drop boxes and make sure they don't go up, challenge every drop box saying, hey, because without the shenanigans, I mean, you look at the fact that in some states, the biggest voting bloc are the people who don't vote.
Well, thanks to the left, we're going to have more people. We'll have more people voting that aren't supposed to be voting.
Yeah, they really admitted that, and there's movement. I think in was it Georgia where they found out that they had gaps in people's records that shouldn't be there. They should have been unconfirmed voters or whatever it is. They're trying to pass it off as, Oh, they must have been swamped that day. They just took a bunch of names. The college kids that they're just young, they're enthusiastic. Making excuses. But don't forget, this is generations. This has been going on for generations. So the people who are doing it, there's going to be no talking or bragging. They sort these kids out. They go through layers of indoctrination, and anybody who doesn't toe the party line to the letter gets weeded out of these organizations, whether it's Get Up, Act Blue, Open Society Foundation, Progressive America. What's the other one? Clinton's big organization is supposedly back. So it was just called the Clinton Foundation. Those are the big five who ballot harvest across America, and they have been for generations. They just keep changing, new president, new organizational leader, etc. BLM and Antifa are just distractions for the media, bread and circus.
Yeah.
The real problem goes on behind the scenes with the unions and public employees like in Detroit, who seem to think that they're the ones who decide who gets elected.
What do you think? What do you think is going to happen with speaking of Chicago and Illinois, that area? Has anybody heard anything about that super mayor that we talked about like 2 weeks ago? By the way,
there's been no legal action. DOJ is too busy going after people who won't wear their uniform properly.
Oh. Yeah, who am I to think that we were actually gonna, do something?
Yeah, military code. You've got to have your uniform on, right?
Oh yeah.
Got a very important issue. The military.
Yeah, who cares that we got people just taking advantage of just our systems and government and
well, that's what
taxpayer dollars and whatnot.
Well, that's what it is. It's liberal welfare. They take
exactly
instead of a church taking care of the poor and the community donating because they can see what the church is spending their money on. No, the government has to come in, take all the money and dole it out. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
And eventually they create big bureaucracies because the bureaucracy is going to vote for comrades. Do you want low prices or you want to keep your job? That's
hello, comrade.
Yeah. Hey, Comrade Brian's back.
Yay, Comrade Brian.
But wait until they start to put out preferred language handbooks in public instead of just in colleges.
Compelled speech.
But the reason why Al Jazeera is upset over the new definition of anti-Semitism is because Zionism is one of their favorite words.
And they're the ones that are lobbying to get this definition changed.
Yes, because they're the ones who spread anti-Semitism. They're pro-Palestinian rag.
Yeah.
And the leader of Hamas has been quite open that he is funded by China. And Biden's still saying, we don't know what their motive is. That's when he can speak. But
yeah.
Did you hear that
coherently?
White House Communications Director tried to have Jean-Claude Pierre fired.
No way, really?
Yeah. But
awesome.
Miss Diversity Hire went crying to Kamala Harris, and she had a almost blow to blow with the White House Chief of Staff. And right now, Jill is trying to moderate Jill wants her around still. So I think those two take turns with Brady Ann. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm surprised she's been around for that long.
Well, after the mysterious firing of what's her face, Jen Psaki, but she didn't actually get fired. She quit. They fired her so that she could get her benefits, whatever, because she took another job.
With CNN, right?
Yeah.
Or MSNBC.
CNN. Yeah.
Okay.
She took a consulting job, and so they used that as an excuse to fire her, even though she already quit. But they fired her so apparently she could get all the benefits.
Oh.
So
I didn't know that. I knew that she wasn't. I knew that she was gone, but I didn't know that. Yeah.
There's shenanigans there. Yeah.
It's always shenanigans.
Liberals are always trying to maximize how much they can take off the taxpayer and minimize how much they give to the taxpayer.
Yep.
But a lot of people are starting to wake up to the fact that these liberal organizations are all money laundering schemes in one way or another, where, you have the Clintons, doing a music video, whatever, and people seem to think it's harmless until they see that, wait a minute, why they're getting all these donations. Well, I don't know exactly how it works, but they put out a music video and then they circulate amongst their liberal friends, and basically it's like a prompt, right? It's like every month they do something that seems to draw attention. They don't talk about any issues. So what I think is this is the final stage. They're just telling the people that there's no new plans, right? There's no plan to fix anything, just bread and circus, spread the message, put out these distracting music videos that keeps everybody talking, or bear memes or whatever it is, to keep everybody talking about the memes or the music videos, but not the issues going on like Ukraine, Gaza, the border. It's all bread and circus.
Yeah. Let's see. There was a few other things I've seen the last couple days.
Lots of stuff. Yeah.
Honestly, though, I'm a little out of the loop because I've been training at work. By the way, my last day at my current position in my job was yesterday, and Monday I start a new position at my company. So
that's exciting.
I'm a little out of from where. So we brought a guy over from a different department who wanted to move over, and this whole week I've been training and showing how to do things. So that means like all my podcasts, my news and stuff like that's been kind of gone by the wayside, so that I can continue to train and answer questions and do stuff like that. So like this week I'm just kind of like, oh man, what do we talk about?
Well, Sony just nuked Helldivers today, which is a shame. I think they're gonna Sony PlayStation, as you know, has had a lot of boycotts lately, and people are canceling their Sony PlayStation Network accounts in boycott for all the censorship Sony is engaged in, the latest being Stellar Blade. Well, in retaliation, they've now added Sony PlayStation Network requirements to games such as Helldivers 2. Even if you're on a PC, any Sony interactive game may actually start getting requirements to play and to continue to be able to play and receive updates to have a required PlayStation account, even if you're not on a PlayStation.
Oh, man. So what is this Stellar Blade I keep hearing about?
Stellar Blade is an action adventure where basically it's a 3D fighting game, but instead of like post-apocalyptic Earth, you're a Stellar Blade. You go around. You're like the 26th, whatever. You're the last hope for humanity. You go around killing things.
Huh.
Now, she's a Korean girl. She's highly athletic, and she performs some very highly athletic moves. And they had stuff like a bodysuit that showed the outline of her body, and she does stuff that involves flips, and so her body had natural physics, including jiggling boobs. But
let's. I'm gonna pull up a video. I'm gonna mute it for obvious reasons.
mhm.
We'll look at the game. So I guess it's the girl.
She's
Yeah.
hot and thin. She's a Korean athlete
And it's based on
and model.
it's based on a real woman too, right?
She's a real woman. Yeah.
Yes.
wow.
This is a scan of her. Yeah, not a digital scan of her. She does all these moves. That flip that you see her do, she did that.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah. But of course,
Oh, I see the
Sword
jiggle
Shoot-
physics.
Yes.
Good lord.
And Sony said enough.
Let's see.
But see, they went out they went all the way. Like they wanted to remove the cross and everything. And
Well, what I heard was they released it in Western countries with the edited version, but the rest of the world got the version that the developers intended, was what I heard.
But then they had a first day patch which took it out from across the world.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, that's what happened. First day, bang, censorship. That all the people who pre-ordered the uncensored version got delivered the uncensored version, but the moment they went to play it, they got a notification of updates, and those who accepted the update suddenly noticed that her outline and outfit suddenly went from more realistic to more plastic.
Yeah, I just don't understand that. Why would they count? They count down to people who don't even play the game.
Yes.
Yeah, you can find. I know there's isn't she Korean?
Yes. She's a model and athlete.
Yeah, there's definitely video of her standing.
Jeez, like you missed that part.
Yeah,
I know.
There's videos of her doing athletic stuff, and of course you can see like there, realistic.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I've heard nonstop conversation about this game for the last week and a half.
Because it was promised as an uncensored
I'm just curious,
game.
like, is it any good? Do we need to get it?
Oh, I think it's good, but I don't think it's. It's not a shoot 'em game. It's a button mashing game, learning combos, learning where the secret places are, managing your skills. There's something you're not used to.
Is it like a quest?
It is. It's a quest. You go, you get double jump and backflips, and your quest is to oust the aliens. You go through the streets of the dead world and basically.
Yeah, I mean, I could dig that. Like, that's kind of cool because it gives you. But then at certain points, it's a button mashing fighting game, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Learning combos, and it's not targeting with a gun. It's sword swiping and avoiding getting hit.
Yeah.
See, that's the problem. It's sort of like Destiny with swords instead of guns.
I never played Destiny. That is.
All right. But there are guns in this game too. That's the thing. Later on, you
hopefully
get
legal ones.
Yeah. Well, pulse lasers. I hope so.
Yeah. Well, you know how sometimes some games nowadays don't want to be like lethal.
Yeah.
What they should do is form a class action lawsuit and just sue them for false advertising. That's the only thing that's going to have any impact on Sony.
But Sony has already stated that it's not their fault and that it was a miscommunication, and they've already accepted that they'll accept refunds for which what unfortunately
they're accepting refunds now.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
but it's a trap because if the game falls below 1 million, it won't get a sequel.
Right.
Which means another independent studio gets killed by ESG.
Yep.
And Sony hopes that enough people will give up on Helldivers 2 and Stellar Blade and buy their more ESG-friendly games from Sweet Baby Inc.'s list.
I don't know.
This is punishment. This is punishment to gamers for not buying all the new games because they're on the Sweet Baby Inc. list. There are games that are less than 500 players. They're expecting sales they're expecting modest sales of 100,000 and they've got 200. And they're blaming the Sweet Baby Inc. list.
Hope they make more lists like that. Maybe they'll eventually get the message.
Yeah, Sweet Baby Inc. is by a BLM activist who's never been outside of, I think, Detroit or Chicago. I'm not sure which. But she's down with the African cause, and they said they called her the African activist in Uganda called her a caramel latte. As you may or may not know, the Ugandans are actually on our side of the fence when it comes to Sweet Baby Inc., and they are furious. Because they love these fighting games. They love these, particularly the Korean, because they're all because they love the uncensored games, not just the jizzle physics, but the blood and the gore. And that's the first thing that went. They've been fighting this for longer than we have, apparently. Trying to get all the blood and the gore back into games like, the vampire game, Blood. If you've ever seen it, it used to be super gory. Then it got killed, and it was brought back Blood 2, and it's like, no blood. What?
Yeah. I definitely want to. I definitely want to find another fun game to play for coffee and gaming. So.
Oh, I think Blood's a little outdated though, but it's got a lot.
No, I'm talking about Stellar Blade.
Stellar Blade is definitely got. You probably. I still think the demo's available.
Well, you'd have to have the
PSN.
You have to have the PSN account active, and I don't have mine active right now. Yeah, that's the bad part.
But the bad part is, I think you need it to play it on the PS5. They're trying to force it.
I don't think I have to if I'm not playing
on co-op.
Yeah, if I'm just playing by myself, I don't think I need to.
Yeah. But it's been announced, and Sony has, basically said they're not going to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, here's the model.
Yeah.
I'll put it
What you got? Oh. Wait, why don't you just share
model,
it? Yes. Share the screen.
I don't know if you want to share it. But there is a video of her in the motion capture studio. It's pretty interesting.
Oh my goodness. LMP would be like, I gotta put this up. Yeah, he will.
That's cool.
Oh, she is.
Okay.
Whoops. I'm muted or audio fell.
Wow.
Oh, there's back. Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, she is.
Stop playing, dude. Shut up.
But anyway, I think she's bigger than the character. Her tracts of land look a little larger in that one picture. Hey man, you gotta keep it real for YouTube.
Yeah.
What the height is?
Eve.
I understood that reference.
Yeah. That was a nerd test. An old nerd test.
Well, that's cool. Interesting. Wow.
Shinjae Yoon?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's how you pronounce it.
I want to know how tall.
You got to sort of sing. You got to sing it without actually singing. That's because it's a tonal language. But yeah,
5'5". Wow. Yeah, my wife's watching Korean shows all the time.
so you probably you probably notice how the Korean in the TV shows they really exaggerate the emote letters like EU, eh, ooh, eh, they really exaggerate. That's that emotional, apparently.
Dr. Crovenouse, what are you up to?
Trying to rewire something here so it's not so I can move around a little bit better.
I'm just curious.
Doing lines.
We hear a lot of tapping and typing, and
He's defusing a bomb or building one. Whoops, shouldn't say that.
Everything that guy just says is bullshit.
Amen.
Yep.
Exactly.
Exactly. I just
Exactly. But I was pretty surprised how many games are on the Sweet Baby Ink detected list. And I was surprised how badly they're doing. I mean, some of them don't look bad on the surface, but yeah. But then there's some, like Zhao, which was a Kenyan game by a Kenyan man in England, second generation, and he quit after a year, but they finished the game anyway, and it's bombing bad. And this was a tribute to his father, and the only way he could get funding was to go to he went to a funding board or wherever, one of those organizations that helps you get funding for stuff, and they put him in touch with a subsidiary of BlackRock. So ESG scores, but that's the thing. People don't understand. It's not diversity when they're all black. It's not diversity when they're all gay. It's not diversity when.
Speaking of diversity, anybody hear of the CIA's diversity hire singing like a bird on the first?
On the
Well,
O'Keefe, the O'Keefe Media Group.
Yeah, Ahmad Fassi
got fired.
Yeah, project manager and working in cyber operations for CIA.
I think he's been there for a long time, though.
Yeah, they admitted that they were withholding information from President Trump.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's going to happen? Nothing.
Nothing.
He won't be prosecuted. The CIA will not see funds withheld and management overhauled. They will have the usual backroom deals where somebody gets chosen to be the fall guy, and Savard and his supervisor will be chosen.
Yep, and they'll disappear.
And of course, there's 17 other agencies they could go to work for, right?
Yeah, they'll join Elvis and other people.
No,
they think are dead.
Elvis got iced.
I know.
No. Elvis, the guy, for 10 years, they caught the guy. For 10 years, the whole Elvis Alive thing was going on for over a decade until they caught up with the Elvis impersonator who was using Elvis's account.
Wow.
The moment he heard Elvis was dead, he walked into the bank and says, "No, I'm not. I just had an accident." But motor neurosis, or fallen over. So they re-signed him back into his account without checking his signature. It's really weird, but it was sure, Elvis. I think they wanted to keep Elvis alive, because he was such a good distraction.
Yeah.
But there are others. Yeah, there are a few fake deaths that the government has faked, but I think Elvis wasn't one of them. I think,
no.
I don't know though. Elvis might have been a faked death. There's a guy named Bob Joyce that looks real
yeah,
sus.
he might be the scammer though who was using Elvis's account and is
Well,
under a gag order.
It's all right. It's awfully funny
Bob Joyce.
that this Bob Joyce married Elvis's first girlfriend. It's also really funny that Bob Joyce hangs around with all of Elvis's friends.
Bob
It's
Joyce could be
real
a
funny that
Bristol
Bob Joyce has a come and go as you please at Graceland.
Yeah.
It's real
Because
funny
he's
that Bob Joyce did the funeral for Lisa Murray.
Yeah. He was
Oh,
probably,
he's still alive?
Bob Joyce?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's real
Yeah.
funny that he has a lot of bodily feature marks that Elvis had.
he was probably the government man. He was probably the government guy. He was probably the guy who met with Nixon and Ford, all the others since. You know, he's probably the guy. You know, the real Elvis was probably started becoming inconvenient because he wouldn't stay retired.
This dude, I mean, he sounds like Elvis.
Yeah, he's probably the government guy.
Do what?
He's probably the government guy. Did all the government work, you know. We want Elvis to do this. Elvis.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's been around a long time. Bill Hicks and Alex Jones too.
Who's Bill
Oh.
Hicks? I don't know who that is.
Bill Hicks.
Bill Hicks was a comedian.
Yeah,
Well-
he died, and then Alex Jones showed up like 2 years later. But the thing is the photo comparisons. You got to look at an older Alex. It's like you look at younger Alex, they don't match.
Mhm.
And then he's older than I am, so he's I think.
Yeah.
And I'm 6 years older than Alex. And I'm like, by now he would look really old. So I think
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
idea is stupid.
There was a thing on celebs who did fake their deaths and were caught later.
So
Wow.
what would Bill Hicks gain by like faking his death and being Alex Jones?
Yeah, he was talking about a lot of conspiracy stuff before Alex Jones.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Both Alex and Bill Hicks seem to have this very similar background, as in both have worked tangentially for intelligence organizations.
Oh. I didn't know that. Okay. That's interesting.
But yeah, there have been celebrities who faked their death many times and got caught, and some got caught.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Timothy
But there's
Dexter-
video of a young Alex Jones that around the time Bill was still alive, and so they're not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see a
But it
picture
doesn't-
here where they're both pretty young and they don't really look.
Yeah. Well, see, that's Alex Jones in the early 2000s, and that's Bill Hicks probably about 95.
Oh, okay.
Right? Didn't he die in 98?
I don't know who he is, so
Yeah. I think the only one who really died, and that was mysterious, was Carlin. He got too inconvenient because he went
94. He died in 94.
I mean that could look like I could kind of see that picture being
Mhm.
similar. Like if he had said that he was Alex Jones' brother, I might agree.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think it's the nose and the mouth. They kind of resemble.
Yeah.
I like Alex Jones.
Is Alex Jones a chain smoker? Because boy, Bill Hicks was.
He does smoke. I don't know
does?
how much. Yeah.
Really?
No, he came up. No, he said. Actually, I believe.
Well,
that,
he did, right? Did he give it
He
up
did give up
recently?
smoking about
Hmm.
20 years ago.
Yeah, and
okay.
he said he has a cigar every once in a while, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he
think,
has
didn't he have a voice like a health situation with his voice
Hmm.
and
Yeah, a few years
Right.
ago. screaming too much or something. Yeah, because you look at some clips, and it's not only like 5 or 6 years ago he sounds okay, and now, he's not as bad as Robert Kennedy, but he's getting there.
Well, Kennedy came out recently and said it's the vaccine damage. Who
had vaccine damage?
Robert.
Kennedy.
Oh.
Robert Kennedy Jr.
That's why his voice is the way it is.
Really? I didn't know that. I thought it was just a disease.
Yeah, caused by the jab.
Not that one though, right?
Yeah.
No, that was years ago.
I was gonna say I've heard that he's had voice issues for years.
When he was a kid.
I think I wouldn't be surprised at his vaccine injury. I mean, he's been fighting the vaccine makers for 30 years. So
yeah, he said that it was poor quality batch, and they got away with it because basically they could just settle out of court and don't have the money to continue, and the family didn't want to fight. So he had to give up. But he found new strength with consumer groups and became a consumer lawyer.
Yeah.
Wow.
But they make a product that's crap, poison. They make $10 billion and they pay a $15 million fine.
Mm-hmm.
And it's built into the cost.
If that.
Yeah. They probably know they're going to have to settle out of court 15, 20 million, just roll it in. Okay. Everything costs, 75 cents.
Yeah. They probably crunched the numbers before they went ahead with anything.
Yeah.
They got away in the UK with 85 out of 100 people dying in a vaccine trial without prosecution.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and they got red carded real early in the UK, and they didn't pull it.
Yep.
Or yellow card or whatever the system they use in the UK. There are people very early on.
There was red card. It's yellow was sickness, red is death, and they started having death straight away, and they didn't pull it.
Nope, because that was the plan, was to keep going.
There's no plan.
That's why it was rolled out. It wasn't.
The plan was always to do it. This is Agenda 21. Back in 21, you had the UN talk. Back in 1921, you had what was it? League of Nations talking about the need to depopulate the world because with too many people, there won't be enough resources that the wealthy nations would crumble.
Oh yeah,
because wealth depends on wealth. Somewhat depends on the fact that these wealthy can have huge estates in the country and not pay huge taxes. Yeah. But encroachment of cities has ruined that for them.
Well, they've been trying to. Well, that's why they start wars too.
Yeah.
But I mean, even in the 70s, the population bomb and everything else, and yet Larry Fink this past week talking about replacing people with robots. So,
and not suggesting
they really mean it. People think they're kidding.
No, his own company thought he was kidding.
20 million.
And he says, "No,
extra dead
I
people
mean it."
worldwide from the jabs.
Yes, they want to depopulate most of the population of the world and replace the essential workers, even with robots. So that
killing about 2 million a month now.
Yeah. What's it, Mike?
Well, 2 months ago it was 16 million, and now it's 20.
Yeah.
Extra death worldwide. All cause mortality, but we know what the cause is.
Yeah, myocarditis caused by infraction of the heart
caused
muscle,
by suddenly.
Yes, and the infractions are caused by protein spikes. And there's only one source we know of protein spikes.
Spiked protein.
Yeah. And that is what they call now the junk and Astaverta has even referred to it as junk proteins that somehow mysteriously got into the batch.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that all the left are going around saying, "Oh no, it's not Pfizer, it's Astaverta," and they've admitted that they've caused blood clots.
AstraZeneca.
AstraZeneca. And we've been saying, wait a minute, it's the same They get the protein. They're the same proteins. If they have the vaccines come from the same 3 manufacturers, there's only 3 manufacturers of the vaccine, and they're a contractor. They're not. There's no such thing as Pfizer making a vaccine. Pfizer contracts everything out. They're a public front.
Well, it's made by the DoD, and it comes out through Pfizer.
Yeah, but it's made in biolabs across the world under contracts.
The versions are that one. Australia actually had was a university in Australia, and then people were testing positive for AIDS, so they stopped it. Yeah, the Johnson & Johnson one was based off of the old school vaccines where you have a dead virus, an active virus, and then the Moderna.
What happened with the Johnson & Johnson one?
It really faded away quickly, didn't it? It's like
I think because it was the cheapest and the low and there was no bonus payments, because I know they admitted with bonus payments Johnson & Johnson wasn't on the list. So it might have actually been the effective one that was given to Congress.
And then the Moderna vaccine is the Pfizer, but cranked up by 4. So it's 4 times stronger.
Yeah. And the
Russian guess which one Bill Gates backed?
Moderna.
Man, But
the Russian one's been pulled. So has China. They've stopped using it as well. Stopped using vaccines to fight COVID.
Zinc and D3 are your best friends, and quercetin.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? They think it's healthcare.
Anyway.
But it's the classic con that goes back thousands of years. First, you give them the best product, then you give them lots of giveaways, and then once the public start cheering you on, you slowly withdraw the quality until you return to profitability. And then when the government says, "Hey, we need a population decline," you just basically have a few accidents and blame your subcontractors. Like biolabs in Ukraine, which they finally admitted to in the New York Times, and then buried behind a paywall.
Well, they admitted that. They were talking about that when Obama was president.
No, I'm talking about the latest, the biolabs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there were.
For COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Testing. Wait a minute. When was the vaccine made again? Warp speed?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
the one opened the lab in 14.
It's one of several things that drive me nuts about Trump. He won't admit that he was conned.
Yeah, he didn't.
Well, I mean, who would want to admit that you got conned?
No, Nixon didn't. Well, Nixon did. He although he recorded it and it was released 6 weeks after his death.
Yeah, I get that, but it's like this thing's killing people. They had it.
It's worse though.
2017. They had it available for years.
Yeah. They took out the patent in 2014.
And they played to his ego of, hey, you could be the hero here, getting this out the door.
And then all the Democrats refused to take it.
Well, and then you had Joe Biden that was, saying that, almost taking credit for it. And Trump was like, you had your out right there. Yeah, Joe's talking about the vaccine that he helped put out and it's harming lots of people. Instead, that was mine. You can't have that.
And they stopped reporting the deaths the day Trump lost the election.
Yeah, well, of course. It's all part of the scam.
Well, it was, because 2 million more have died since.
So, anyway. You got any other topics there, Appalachian?
Not really. I'm down 35 pounds, so that's kind of cool.
Nice.
Cool.
What's your goal, man? Or are you just
till
you feel
I'm
better?
just going, I guess.
Okay.
I don't really have a goal. I just wanna be happy and not a fatty.
Be happy.
What method are you using?
Just watching what I eat. I'm fasting between 7:30 and 7:30 Just
12
trying to
12 hour
limit the
method.
crap.
Yeah.
Is that 7:30 a.m. or p.m.?
7:30. I'm stopping at 7:30 p.m. and starting at 7:30 a.m.
Okay, you're doing the opposite of
What
Ron.
I'm doing is the
Yeah.
similar to that, only I'm doing the 16-hour fast where I eat between noon and 6 p.m. only.
Well,
And then
that doesn't work for me. I mean, technically, I guess I'm supposed to be doing that, but
I don't do that every day. I do it
If I
almost
did
every
not
day.
eat breakfast, I would shank everyone at work.
Oh yeah.
So
I miss my egg McMuffin. Let me tell you.
Well, I mean, I'm making my breakfast. I'm using turkey bacon, egg, and dairy-free cheese, and a wrap, and a little bit of hot
Dairy-free
sauce.
cheese. Is that because of the sugar?
Yes.
Mm.
And I've kind of walked it back. I'm kind of now at stopping eating at 7:30 at night, and having breakfast at 9:30.
Well,
So I'm
every
kind of
cooked
walking
meal-
it back a little
Well, if
bit.
you've lost 30 pounds, it must be working. So
Yeah.
stick to what works.
In
Sorry,
January,
I didn't
when
even know I had a
first,
dog in here, and one of them farted.
Oh,
when I first,
Blaming the dog, that's pretty low, Brian.
I'm sorry.
after the first of the year, I was 325 pounds.
Wow, really?
And now I'm down to 290.
That's pretty good.
Sweet.
Oh, yep. And apparently, the Power Rangers comics ending. I'm pretty sad about it. And on issue 120 is going to be a first gay couple. So,
gee, well, that's a good place to
Does
stop.
not exist.
Man, it's a good time to end it. Is that the latest run, or is that overall? I don't.
This current run that's going on right now,
Okay.
which I've been pretty caught up on. It's been a really good series, but now it's just kind of getting pretty whack.
Yeah, I heard you talking about how good it was earlier.
I liked it, but man, dude, it's like, why does everything have to be that way?
It's in everything now.
Yep. All right,
I
well,
want to know how many people.
Well,
that
we
are
had a
blaming
win
those
today for the
Palestinian
meat
fighters.
eaters. Martin Freeman, talented actor, well known for Sherlock and The Hobbit.
Oh yeah.
Made headlines after he gave up veganism. He said they're fanatics. Though he said they were right about ultra processed, that they're ultra processed. They're just as bad as as unhealthy for you. He had high blood pressure, heart disease, and was at risk of a stroke, even though he wasn't eating any meat. After a sit down, after he thought he was.
Hello?
Did he just freeze? I guess he did freeze.
Thought I was just
he's probably still talking to himself.
me.
He thinks he's having, like, he probably still doesn't realize that he froze yet.
Yeah, maybe we froze to him.
Maybe. There he is. That's hilarious.
I didn't even know I froze. I'm
You
sorry.
moved.
I figured it. I figured
You were
he
frozen
still
for
talk. I was
about
like, I bet you he still
45
talk.
seconds.
Oh, well, anyway, Martin Freeman was on the verge of death. He sat down decided he'll have a meat meal as his last meal, right? You know, figuratively. And he felt amazing from eating a pork pie. And is now, he's given up veganism and speaking against it. Basically, he was on the verge of death because of veganism, not because of eating meat. And the irony is he gave up eating meat because he thought it was going to be healthier.
Nice.
After 34 years of being a vegan, he was on the verge of death. Far out. Poor bastard. Yeah. But if that's what it takes you to, this is what it takes with most humans, right? Until they're facing absolutely no way out, rock bottom, face down.
Right.
But unfortunately then, as you know, a lot of vegans and a lot of, let's say, alternative lifestyle communities, they won't. No, drug users, it's a drug. It really is, and that's unfortunate that they'd rather be addicts than, healthy.
I always like to point out that Hitler was a vegetarian, but
yes,
it doesn't confer moral superiority.
No. But that's why he became a vegan, was moral superiority.
Mm-hmm.
He also started the anti-smoking league.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, it was the first anti-smoking campaign was started by Adolf.
All because he couldn't get into art school.
That's funny.
Well, it wasn't just art school, but it was the last straw. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he was. But people don't know the truth. John Toland tried to tell people the truth about him, that he was recruited by intelligence, and he was doing the bidding of a Sherry cabal of millionaires and billionaires who are running Germany.
Yeah. Well,
and when it hit the fan, they abandoned him, and it was all orchestrated between Stalin and Roosevelt. They had plotted this back in the 1920s. Big money put Roosevelt in power. The same big money put Hitler in power, and Hitler thought he was riding high, man of the year, but then came the protests, and he didn't understand that he was being set up.
Yep.
Well, guys,
the reason why you can't hear his speeches is because he's complaining about the West all the time, saying, do this, do that. I did this, I did that, took away guns, did this. And then they wouldn't, and he was complaining about the fact they wouldn't settle the dispute with Poland. So he invaded because Russia also invaded, right? A day earlier. Germany was not first.
Yeah. Well, they met at the
Volga, wasn't it? Or something like that.
Yeah.
Halfway point.
Yeah. But no, well, this is the same, cabal that put all the people, things have been going around Facebook recently of, Iran in the 50s, and now, and it's because
you armed the radicals to out a pro-Russian government, and the radicals turned against you. What a shock,
same
right?
3-letter agency that made the OMG video files this week overthrew various governments. If you're gonna, this is Eisenhower warned us about, because this complex needs to keep spending money, so you got to have conflict somewhere.
But if
there's world peace, they're out of business. Yeah,
that's right. But the problem is that the damage from each conflict is getting more than it costs to like Iraq took $1 billion. How much was it? $1 billion a month to repair? And they're estimating that Ukraine will cost $60 billion a year or something to repair.
Well, that's because of the fraud.
Yeah, but it's still
the cost of repairs. Yeah, but they're making billions on the way there. So
but even though Iraq was fraud,
right? I'm gonna pass out, David. If you don't stop talking, I'm gonna pass out.
Right. So
I've been trying to get out of here, and I'm just like,
I'm sorry. I didn't
cool.
realize. Okay, last word has been said.
Good deal. Hey, tomorrow morning, coffee and gaming. I'm gonna go to bed and actually get a decent night's sleep. We stayed in a Hilton last night, a Hampton Inn by Hilton, whatever that means. It was great. It was a great place until we went to bed, and now I'm exhausted because 5 people in a room that sleeps 4 is not fun.
Nope.
But where did the 5th person go?
Between me and my wife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, hey, what's up, Justin? Congrats on 4 years. Sexy boys. Hey. He said it for sex boys.
Okay. Oh, he corrected himself.
Sex
boys. We're gonna get demonetized.
I am not a sex worker.
All right,
anymore.
Yes, you are. Shut up. You are anymore. Shut up, sex boy. So tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., we'll be going live with Coffee and Gaming. It'll be a good time. Until then, check out all the links down below. Check out, oh my God.
And I'm going to review this one there.
I'd pay if you were. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, God.
He would pay in Delano's delicious pizza, which was amazing last night, by the way. Brandy was like, my wife was like, "You should take a picture of it and send it to Justin." And I was
That's
like,
what I'll tell my sister-in-law that you thought it was amazing.
"Oh, does she live around there?"
No, her husband's from Danville.
Oh, cool. Yeah, dude, that pizza bang, dude.
The McCormick's, Justin, you may have heard of them. They make spices.
Oh, for real?
The same
Like-
family. I forget where that split. They're
That's
not. They
cool.
don't own it, but
Oh,
it's
okay.
of the same family.
Nice. But yeah, dude, yeah, my wife was like, "Dude, you should he said, "There he is." He said, "It's the best pizza ever." Yeah, my wife was like, "You should take a picture of you eating a piece." And I was like, "Yeah, I should," but I didn't. And so I was too busy like housing the pizza by the time that that thought came about. It was fantastic. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go to sleep in my bed tonight, which is gonna be just joyous.
Rock on. man.
Always preferable.
Saw that wood.
Yeah, enjoy all the other channels of Brian Lape and Dave. They have content. They have Dave's got a book. Yeah. Just that it's so good, it's all you can focus on. Exactly.
Someday I will have more than 2 videos on my channel.
Oh yeah.
Of more than a minute in length.
Well, there you go. Apparently, if you just make a bunch of shorts, you'd be you'll make all kinds of.
If you make videos of you in your shorts, you might get some viewers.
Oh God. No.
Maybe. Hey, Big Bear. He says, "Hey, you guys, what's up, man? We're just up here. We're about to get off here. Not like that, but we're gonna get off in the stream. I'm going to bed. I'm exhausted.
We're about to be off the air.
It's 4-year anniversary of our channel. And we're just chilling. And yeah. Like I said, check out David's book. Check out all of his links down below. Check out Brian Lape's channel. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Same men's room play channel, same men's room place. Oh, it's Little Barry. Oh, hey, okay, cool. Right on. Same men's room channel, same men's room place. Be there, be square. 7 a.m. 7 a.m. A little ASMR. We're going live at 7 a.m.
Square root of 2/2. Good day.
Do what? What did
It's a
you
math-
just
it's a
say?
math joke. Square root of 2/2.
Bye-bye.
Good day, sir.
Later, dudes.
Good night, Jimbo.
Hell, I got to go.
Peace out.
Burn in hell, New World Order. Fuck you. You, New World Order. You, Bill Gates.